Fall in love with 252 exclusive offers on the Citroën range at Hugo Luna Motors today. Explore our impressive collection of Citroën cars and vans, where advanced comfort, style, safety and reliability all come together. Order your 252 today and take advantage of low-rate finance, a €500 deposit contribution and avail of a free home charger. Book your test drive today at hugolunamotors.ie. Citroën. For everyone, like no one.
Citroën. It's time for Taking Care of Business on Midlands 103. With thanks to the local enterprise offices of Laois, Offaly and Westmeath. Find us on localenterprise.ie and let's talk business.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Taking Care of Business. I'm Ronan Berry, this is Midlands 103, and coming up over the next hour, many SMEs get funding for digital or lean projects, but then nothing changes. SquaredMap's Shannon Kearney will explain how businesses can finally make progress using lean, digital and AI to deliver real efficiency and resilience. Also, Playtown Tullamore has just taken home a major national award, and the family behind the venture will share what's new, how their play experience has evolved and why families can expect even more magic in 2026. And also, women investors are powering Ireland's next generation of startups. But is the Midlands falling behind? AwakenAngels CEO Clare McGee will discuss a £4 million impact milestone that they've reached, new US trade missions and how Midlands women can get involved as founders or as investors. That and much more coming up throughout the course of the show. If you want to be part of this evening's conversation, the quickest and easiest way to get me here in the studio is by text or WhatsApp on 083 3010 103, or if you've got something else in your mind, business@midlands103.com, but I won't see those until after the show. So text or WhatsApp, you'll get me here in the studio. But on the news there, you might have heard a headline saying that Ireland's housing crisis was likely to continue until at least 2040. And whilst that might not sound like new news, when you hear kind of hard numbers being put around it, it really makes you sit up and think, because we all know Ireland needs more homes. We need them built faster and to higher environmental standards. And traditional construction simply can't keep up with that demand. Modern methods of construction, or MMC as we'll call them this evening, are already transforming delivery across the Midlands. And next Wednesday in Laois, SkillNet MMC Accelerate is hosting a major regional showcase to help local companies get involved. Dr. Alan Hore is a programme lead at SkillNet MMC and a co-founder of CETA. He joins me now, of course, a former guest on Taking Care of Business. Welcome back, Alan.
Thanks, Ron. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Alan, many people are probably hearing about modern methods of construction over the last while. Can you kind of sum up succinctly what they are and why they are so important?
Well, we're talking about modernising the construction sector. We're not just talking here about prefabrication, off-site solutions. We're talking about rethinking the way that we plan and we design and we build and train our people for new methods. This is really so badly needed in construction. We're aware of the housing targets, the lack of labour, the sustainability imperative. It's now time to shift and move towards more modern methods.
What do we expect to see when modern methods are applied as well? Are we seeing faster delivery, higher quality, obviously big savings in terms of labour and potentially material wastage too?
Yes, absolutely. There's no doubt that modern methods of construction, in particular modular prefabrication, it speeds up the whole process. It tackles that thorny issue in construction of productivity. We're all aware of the housing sector. We're struggling for a number of years now to close the gap. And really, with the skill shortages, the planning delays and the capacity limits, we really need to move towards more modern methods, because it's the only really scalable way in which we can deliver what the country needs.
When we speak then in modern, what are the biggest innovations that have been brought in over the past couple of years that will hopefully make a huge dent in that backlog of housing that's needed?
Well, I mean, many of your listeners may be aware of sort of 3D volumetric modular homes, but also the huge gains being made in 2D panelised timber frame, light gauge steel, and you might have heard in recent times about the 3D printing of homes up in Laois, and actually at your doorstep there in the Midlands is the National Demonstration Park for Modern Methods of Construction in Mount Lucas. So there's an awful lot happening in the region that is the Midlands there,
Absolutely, and all which can have a huge difference in terms of that delivery piece. Are there misconceptions out there then about modern methods and about things like maybe modular or off-site construction that...
Yeah, I suppose we've heard the news, that maybe they're temporal in their nature, the lower quality. Of course, that's totally untrue. Really, by building in a factory setting, a more controlled environment, you get more precision engineering, you get greater energy efficiency, and of course it's speed. And of course we know that we get quite a bit of rain in Ireland, so it really makes a lot of sense to build in the factory and move away from the narrative that modular means poor quality. It means high quality, speed, efficiency and precision. That's really what we need to close this gap.
And will it also then maybe alleviate the skills crisis out there, that actual lack of talent and bodies to man the construction industry, particularly for more traditional methods?
Well, you're still going to need people within these facilities, yeah? But you'll need less of them. Another example of that would be, say, Midlands Steel, for example, in Portlaoise, Tony Wood's facility there. Huge investment in automated steel fabrication or steel reinforcement automation. And so Tony can work with robotics automation, but he still needs people to get the work done. But certainly less people on the ground will be needed if we move towards more automation.
And I suppose in Tony's example too, you're taking people away from a very manual job on a site where you are subject to all those various weather conditions and a dynamic, fast-moving site too, and doing that all in-house where you can guarantee the quality and there's 0% wastage on it as well. So it's a fantastic example really of the innovation that's happening here in the Midlands. You're having an event next week, though, with Procon. Tell us more about that. I suppose a bit about Procon maybe to begin, and tell us why that's been chosen to showcase these the MMC SkillNet.
Well, Procon Modular are a fantastic company, obviously based in Burst in Austria. They also have a facility in Dublin. They're essentially a 2D panelised light-gauge steel company, but they provide solutions into education, into agri, into social housing, healthcare. And we're looking forward to going down to see them next Wednesday. This is the 10th event we've had since I spoke to you about a year ago. So we've been busy moving around the country. And at that event, we're going to hear from Procon themselves. I know Owen Daly, the managing director, will be speaking. And we'll also be hearing from KSN Project Management, obviously our own SkillNet, MMC Accelerate. I believe Boylan Consulting is speaking. And we're also hearing from KY Building Products. So one thing about these events have been fantastic. As I say, we've done 10 events so far. We're inviting local businesses, chambers of commerce, local colleges, ETBs, to have that kind of conversation that really what we're trying to do here is to fast track the adoption of MMC by building a stronger connected skills infrastructure for the construction industry. So we've launched the platform back on the 21st of May in Mount Lucas, and we've had a fantastic response to it. So this is the 10th event, and I think we're moving later this month to Kilsaran's new facility in Artistown and Kildare, a €20 million investment in a precast concrete, and then we've a fantastic program all lined up for next year as well. So we're going to be visiting over 10 companies next year as well.
Fantastic. So really trying to get that knowledge out there, increase the awareness and drive that network there too. So that's next Wednesday, the 12th of November at Procon Modular Manufacturing in Laois. If people want to attend, it's free to attend, is it, for people to sign up and go?
It's free to attend. There'll be an opportunity, obviously, for networking, but we're actually going to get a tour of the facility as well, and we're going to hear about this, the product that Procon build there. And so at the event, I think people will be able to sort of see it, experience MMC, from modular pods to panelized systems, actually to the digital demonstrations that they use, the digital tools they use to actually provide that precise design before they commit to build. So it'll be a live showcase, and we'll be explaining more about how our platform is developing as well when we're there next week.
Absolutely. Well, nothing like seeing these new modern methods of construction in action and seeing how they're delivering as well. And hopefully it will go towards alleviating that new kind of line as a 2040 that's been put on our minds there about trying to alleviate the housing crisis and all the other building that needs to be done and infrastructure. It's going to be a busy time ahead for you. Dr. Alan Hore, thank you so much for that again this evening.
Thank you, Ronan. Delighted to be
Not an absolute pleasure. So if you want to check out that event, just put in MMC Accelerate into Google there, throw in Procon, and it'll bring you towards the registration for that. But definitely, if it's an area of interest to you, pop along there, because Alan says you're going to see live demonstrations, you're going to learn an awful lot more about MMC, and also maybe be part of that network that's growing around that. Huge opportunities for the Midlands. We've already got some great companies, like Alan mentioned, Midland Steel. Much more to come as well from great Midlands businesses. Time for a very quick break though. After that, if you're a female investor or a female startup founder, stay tuned, because there is a network that maybe you should be part of.
Taking care of business with thanks to the local enterprise offices of Laois, Offaly and Westmeath. Find us on localenterprise.ie and let's talk business.
Still to come this evening, have you availed of digital or lean funding for your business? Maybe got some mentoring, some consultancy, put a few things in place, but then found that things stagnated from there? Well, our next guest coming up very, very shortly will tell you how you can unlock that and take your business to a new level. Also, we'll meet the family behind the Tullamore-based company that scooped a major national award in the Family Business Awards in late October. So lots to get through this evening. But before that, Ireland's first female-led investment syndicate, AwakenAngels, has already helped raise over £4 million for female-led companies. But they believe the Midlands is missing out slightly. CEO Clare McGee joins me now to talk about new opportunities for local investors and founders, and why unlocking women's capital can transform regional growth. Very good evening, Clare.
Good evening, Ronan. How are you?
I am absolutely fantastic. Probably not as jet-lagged as you might be. You've been hopping all across the globe as part of the AwakenAngels. Tell us more about it, I suppose. When did it all begin and why?
Well, Awaken Hub was our founder community, which began during lockdown in 2020. And that was really a community of founders across the island of Ireland. And we are dedicated to supporting them to launch and to launch kind of their businesses, but also to remove the barriers for investment, scale and success, and basically to champion gender equity for founders. And then that led into the development of our AwakenAngels syndicate in 2023. So we've been trying to change the landscape and actually increase the equity that goes into women-founded businesses across the island of Ireland. Well,
I just mentioned there that £4 million or €4.5 million milestone. That's 8 portfolio companies to date, 3 more deals in due diligence as we speak. Clearly things are going well for you. Take us through some of the kind of those other significant milestones that you've reached already.
Yeah, I mean, our community has increased from, we have a founder community of around 3,000 subscribers across the island of Ireland, and we also have a global reach with our global Irish diaspora across the globe. In terms of milestones for our founders, we've delivered 4 trade missions, and we have a trade mission coming up now to New York and Boston in February, which we're looking for founders, Irish female founders who are looking to scale into the US. In terms of our angel syndicate, we have kind of doubled our syndicate size in the last 12 months. Which is really, really significant because there's very few women angel investors on the island, and we now have a community of 118 angels who are deploying capital into Irish-founded women startups, which for us is a big significant step. And we over that time we've hosted over 15 pitch nights and bringing forward a portfolio of approximately 45 companies to the syndicate for them to think about and invest in. Now we're women-led syndicate; it's not women only, so we're looking for any women on the island who have maybe been a bit interested in investing and maybe didn't even know that investment and angel investing was open to them. We provide training and support for that. So there's a 9-module CPD accredited training course which we put our angels through. So it actually provides, a lot of support. It provides access to a community events and helps to expand the network.
It is, and it's also de-risking the investment too for that potential angel and really giving them a skill set that we probably assume if somebody's good in business they have, but to know that that can be taught as well and really enhance those is really fascinating. But part of your drive as well was to lower the barriers to angel investing, particularly for females.
We've democratised the angel investing piece. So typically people think that angel investing is only open to high net worth individuals, and that's untrue. It is our ticket size. You can invest within the syndicate for as little as €2,000. And for that, you can start building your portfolio from a very young age. So we're actually targeting young people and also professionals or people who may be in business themselves that have never thought about looking at it from the other side of the house, which is investing them back in to the upcoming startups and the scaling companies. And there's some amazing businesses that are based throughout Ireland that we never really hear about. And sometimes it's just that support that we can give them that can help them scale.
Well, that's it. Well, you have the ears of many phenomenal female business people right across the Midlands at present. So you believe the Midlands is lacking a little bit of participation, but you have strong kind of credentials and a track record there of backing a brilliant Midlands company in Beasol.
Oh, sure. Beasol, Neve and Rory Dooley from Tullamore. They're a great business. You know, they upcycle leftover grains from Irish craft breweries to create nutritious and high fibre food products. So, for instance, granola or snacks and bacon mixes. They started that business during COVID, and it was an idea that has grown into a multi-product company. And they are one of our first 8 investments, and so we're really proud of that we were able to support them. And again, what we're saying is that we've invested in a company in County Offaly, but we don't have any angels around there yet. So that's what we're hoping to raise awareness. But as a based in the Midlands area, you can be supporting upcoming startup companies and scale-up companies, and it really does give you that. Although you're putting money in, but there's also a lot of other things that people can bring to the table. Their expertise, their networks, and advice and guidance. So we're really trying to raise the awareness around the Midlands area for women founders, but also anyone who's interested in supporting the woman founder ecosystem across the island.
So that's a key part. It's not just an equity investment, it's investment plus all those follow-on things like the mentorship that help in scaling, maybe even job creation, everything that comes with that.
Exactly, and it's the peer-to-peer support as well. So although what we're trying to do is build a community of angels and build a community of women founders, it's the support and the advice and the camaraderie that comes with that, and that also helps boost the confidence of the founders and also helps them to grow their business. So everybody has something to give, and there's always a place for expertise and knowledge, and we would like to just basically to raise awareness of that and to share it.
So if there is a female founder or a female future angel investor across the Midlands looking to get involved, how can they do that? And then also tell us about the trade mission that's taking place to the US again in spring next year, I believe.
Okay. If anybody is interested in terms of the angel investing or as a founder and you haven't found your tribe yet, or maybe you just want to increase your network, we'd be delighted to hear from you, and you can apply and get in touch with us through our website, which is www.awakenhub.com. We also have a few sponsored spaces for Awaken Angels training and support that's sponsored through Intertrade Ireland and the British Business Bank. And that's open currently until January 2026. So if you're interested in that, do also, you can contact us through either hello@awakenhub.com as well. And then, as I was saying, we're just back from a trade mission to San Francisco where we had 4 women founders with us, and opening up the networks, trying to get investment and fostering our global connections of Irish diaspora women in the US, and making introductions and channel partnerships for them. And we're expanding that. We are taking another trade mission to Boston and New York in February, and that follows on from 3 successful trade missions we've already had to those states in the last few years. So we've taken the women self-fund themselves going out on the trade mission, and we have 20 spaces open. So if you're a woman founder and you're interested in unlocking the US market and investment in the US, then we would be delighted to hear from you. Well, and you can do that again all through the one protocol is the awakenhub.com website or hello@awakenhub.com, and someone will get back ASAP.
Well, if that's not a call to action, I don't know what is. Clare McGee, CEO of the AwakenAngels, thank you so much for on this evening. Fantastic achievements in such a short space of time, and I expect that email inbox will be pinging after that as well. Thanks a million, Clare.
Fingers crossed, and we will have a prize if there's, a first-time woman investor from County Offaly. We're looking forward to announcing who that will be.
Well, you can promise me you'll come back on the show and you'll announce it as well. No, great stuff, brilliant work.
We might even get you signed up as well, because as I said, it's women led, not women only. So we have a lot of experience and first-time male investors as well.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan. Clare, thanks so much, and all the very best as you move forward with that as well. There you go. What a fantastic success story in just a short space of time. So if you are a female and you're looking to become an angel investor, I mean, there's one mechanism for you. There's a great avenue. Or if you're a startup founder who's looking for investment, why don't you check in and touch base with Clare as well. Thanks a million to Clare McGee, their CEO of AwakenAngels and the Awaken Hub. Time for a quick break. After that, I mentioned if you've undertaken some digital mentorship or some lean training in your business and found it really interesting and exciting, but then find it stagnate a little bit after that, how can you fill the gap? How can you move things along? Well, you'll find out in just a couple of moments.
The French know luxury. Discover the all-new 252 DS Automobiles range at Hugo Luna Motors. Experience pure driving pleasure with DS Automobiles, the French luxury car company. DS's premium range stands out through its charismatic style, interior refinement, sophisticated technology and first-class comfort. Book your test drive today and discover the magic of DS Automobiles at hugolunamotors.ie.
Taking care of business with thanks to the local enterprise offices of Laois, Offaly and Westmeath. Find us on localenterprise.ie and let's talk business.
Earlier I was talking to Dr. Alan Hore from SkillNet MMC about modern methods of construction, and we mentioned Midlands Steel. I had a text there from someone who says, don't forget Jeanette Steel Frames in Kilbeggan, Ronan, for a fab example of light gauge steel homes. Modern methods of construction being invoked there too. Exactly. And you know what? If you're listening in and there's another example across the Midlands, drop me a text or WhatsApp 083 3010 103. The Midlands really will be a powerhouse of a region when it comes to modern methods of construction. So there you go. Thanks for that text, and keep them coming in. Now, I mentioned digitalisation in your business as well, and before the break there we were just talking about female-led businesses and female-led angel investment vehicles as well. A new female-led consultancy is helping Irish SMEs move from chaos to clarity. SquaredMap founder Shannon Kearney says too many small businesses receive lean or digital support, but never the help to actually implement those improvements. Shannon is here now to discuss how SMEs can cut waste, embrace AI safely and unlock the next stage of their growth. Good evening, Shannon.
Hi Ronan, how are you?
Shannon, talk to us about SquaredMap. When did it all start?
So SquaredMap is relatively new. Myself and my co-founder Stacey Hawkes launched in August of this year, so we're kind of just 4 months old. But we're a fractional consultancy firm and we work on 4 pillars. So we have the lean, the AI, the digital and the sustainable element of the business. And the aim is a one-stop shop for business transformation.
Absolutely. Fractional is a word that I find has entered the business lexicon lately. What does it mean and what does it mean to SquaredMap? Yeah,
so fractional, it is very topical. It's almost like the AI trend at the moment, isn't it? Fractional is basically a specialist in the business that is an employee without the full-time payroll. So you get an employee at a specialist level, and they come in and they, depending on your needs, your business needs or your project needs, you could employ us for 1 day a week, 2 days a week, once a month, whatever is kind of needed. But we're in at that level, and the aim is to own a project, implement and train it throughout the business so that the business becomes sustainable in that change.
So I think you're giving us hints maybe at how you solve these issues, that if somebody has undertaken, has got maybe funding or grants or mentoring around lean or digital or AI implementation, there's probably that initial excitement and buzz. All these new things are mentioned. Then it has to be implemented, and there's obviously a cost in that. There's resources needed, both human and money and everything else. Mm-hmm. That's where you come in then in the fractional roles, is it? Yeah.
So we've seen a big gap after kind of the local enterprise office help. Obviously the grants out there and the programmes are absolutely amazing across the lean, digital, sustainable side of things. But the problem is the implementation. So if you're on a digital programme And through local enterprise office, they'll give you a roadmap, a tech stack that's going to work, and it's best in class for your business, designed by a specialist. And it helps towards subscription costs, which is fantastic. But if you know anything about digitalization, the big cost is in implementation, not subscription. So once I've given you this chocolate cake and shown you everything you can have, I'm going to whip it away and say, no, you can't have that, because the next step is going to cost you 10 grand of your own money.
And there are some mild horror stories, some absolutely horrific stories too, of businesses who maybe have invested a lot in a software or in a new operating system that doesn't deliver what they needed because maybe it's failing an implementation stage.
Absolutely.
So you're noticing that, hence why SquaredMap exists.
Absolutely, yeah, we've seen a gap and we jumped.
So where do SMEs typically get stuck from, say, after lean or digital? Like, say, the implementation, what are the key kind of barriers, the bottlenecks there that make so many projects, not come to fruition?
Yeah. So the main problem is resource. So whether that's, skills within your business, whether it's funding, whether it's, capabilities or time, it's resource to implement the changes identified on these programs. So with Lean, the implementation is not always very expensive. That's fine. It's more your resource, your time and your skills of your people in the business. With digital, a huge part of digital problem is around skills within the business, but also money and cash flow in order to implement this kind of tools. So while you build fantastic roadmaps and strategies, if you can't implement, you're not getting any return on investment. So
our business may be inclined to measure, a strategy is created and published, that's an outcome versus the key kind of delivery milestones and that, because it's not an overnight thing by any means.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's where we're falling down. We're calculating how many people are availing of grants, how many people are doing projects, how many people are using the Laois support. But are we calculating the return on investment for these people, the level of implementation, the level of adoption of these new projects and supports and new processes? And that's the part I think we're missing.
And also, are we guilty now of trying to think, well, AI can create that quality manager or that new tech person I was hoping for and everything is solved? Is that also happening, that
Absolutely.
AI is the future, but actually if you don't have a digital strategy or you haven't started implementing it, maybe just be careful of what you do with AI to begin with.
So we've got two problems with AI. We've got people that come in and think that AI is going to solve everything. It's going to automate all our problems and become your customer complaint responder, let's say. And the problem there is you are automating a messy process. So the first step we always say is go back to Lean. Let's look at your wastes. Let's remove those wastes. Let's make good, repeatable processes. Then let's digitize what we've learned in Lean. So let's get you good integral data that we can use, and then let's automate. So if we automate from the start, we're automating chaos.
So any email inbox, even one that's handling orders or customer inquiries, can be automated. But you need to have that fairly streamlined and fairly slick before you start applying an AI tool, is it? So that in itself could be a huge task and a huge investment for any company, just to get that lean aspect onto that.
Yeah, and you find with a lot of kind of AI specialists, if companies go out to AI specialists, that they'll come in and that's the part they're stuck. So they're not going to go digitize for you and they're not going to go find all your problems. So they will just automate what you already have. So it's kind of the selling point of SquaredMap that when you come to us, we're a one-stop shop. And between myself and Stacey, we do the lean, we do the digital, we bring you onto AI. There's a path there for you, but the information stays with us. It stays, within the team, and we pass it from myself to herself, depending on who's the specialist in that area.
Because managing and controlling the data your business generates is hugely important, particularly if you start applying AI tools. And we touch on this in the show every now and again. Someone going, do you know what your employees or maybe a consultant is putting into AI tools and potentially exposing you to? How do you steer people on how to be safe when you're using AI tools? Yeah,
so you will find that a lot of people are using AI tools without even looking at safety. What we always say to people is, first of all, pay for your AI products. If you're not paying for the product, you notice you are the product. So if you think your business is not using AI, your employees are using AI, but they're using it on their phones. They're maybe not using it on the laptop or that kind of thing, but they're using a free version on their phone. So using, sensitive data, you might as well be putting it on Instagram if you're not paying for that product. We also say then bring in a specialist to train your employees how to use these tools, how to prompt properly, what information, what data is safe to put in, and where that data is also stored, depending on the AI tool you're using.
Absolutely, because I think that's many people probably sit up and go, yeah, that's maybe a part we hadn't really given enough consideration to. That if somebody, if you're pressing somebody to produce a sales report for you and they haven't done it before, and AI can produce lovely fancy diagrams, where is that data and where might it be going? So, and again, the investment needed on that mightn't necessarily be that large. If you're using something like Microsoft Office, it's probably all there for you anyway, and you're probably paying for it. But you could actually be using a free online alternative tool. So yeah, I think lots of things for people to start checking. So let's get down to the nuts and bolts of it then. When it comes to quick wins with transformation in a business, what do you find can be really quick wins for a business and bring like really quick visible improvements in any company? Yeah,
so the first part is always visualization of your processes. So whenever we go into a business, the first thing we do is get the team in a room and get them to process map. Map out a process start to finish, and it'll identify all the waste, but it also identifies who on the team knows the process. You'll often find that everyone thinks they know a process until we draw it out. But just by simply drawing it out, you'll see loopholes, you'll see pitfalls, you will see everything there. That's the first step I always say to people, and it costs you nothing.
Yeah, but ownership can be a part of that, can't it? Well, that's the way that Shannon wrote it, and then someone discovers, well, actually Shannon doesn't work here anymore, and she was only following the way Johnny wrote it, and Johnny was doing it the way he was told back in 1980. So are we a little bit sometimes, either people can be owning processes too much or else afraid to ask, can this be done differently?
Yeah, we'd always find that. That's the main thing people always say is, well, this is the way it's always been done. And I think that's all about culture and habit, and leaders should be always questioning processes, start to finish. You should, the minute you finish a process, you should question every part of it. But that's a cultural thing, and that has to be led from the top down. But yeah, owning projects, owning change management, owning any of these lean digital things that come in, ownership is a huge problem.
But those funds that we've mentioned, through the likes of the local enterprise office in particular, they are definitely the starting point to go from there. You'd encourage people to actually start looking into those and getting, because that really is the first step.
Yeah, like the programs that are done by local enterprise office, the lean and digital and sustainable ones, are absolutely amazing, and they're free. So this is another thing I always find when I'm speaking to SMEs is these things are free, and you're given a specialist in your area to come in and give you top advice. So I think it's an amazing starting point.
And a lot of your kind of goals and objectives are with SquaredMap is that the company doesn't become totally dependent or reliant on you. You're trying to bring that capability and capacity in-house. How do you ensure that happens? Because I'm sure it's still kind of a concern for many business owners.
Yeah, absolutely. If you bring in a consultant, the risk is that you're stuck with consultancy fees forever, and your intellectual property and everything lies with them. But the aim with SquaredMap is that you become fully self-sufficient. And I think that's why we went for the fractional approach, is I am an employee, which means I can work with every department in your organisation to implement and embed and create ownership within different departments, so that I can walk away and give you minimal support or no support depending on what's needed.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like a lot has been happening in the first couple of months of the company, and I think your points you're making will resonate with so many business owners and managers and leaders, because they're probably seeing these little bottlenecks as well. And if we needed lest we had any doubt about your kind of get up and go nature, you've started a really interesting networking, we'll call it an event, or tell us about what you've been doing with people over.
Yeah, so I started this series on LinkedIn. I call it Net Wadding. So the WOD comes from CrossFit Workout of the Day, and the network part comes from just meeting people and trying to get out there as a new business owner. It can be lonely, but the aim of it is to network a little bit differently. So instead of sitting in a hotel and having a coffee and having the kind of awkward conversation at the start, is we go for a run or we go for a walk or a gym session or something together, and we try and network differently and do something that way. Yeah.
And I know because you have decided you want me to do something with you this evening after the show, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell people what it is.
So we're going for a 5k run, and I'll just point out that it's absolutely lashing outside.
And has been since about 5 o'clock this evening. But I said to myself, when Shannon comes in, I know she's not going to take no for an answer on this. And her first thing she said was, well, it's after easing a little bit out there. It's bucketing down. So Shannon, you're going to go, you're going to change your clothes. I have one more interview to do, and then I'm going to change my clothes. Yeah. And apparently we're going to go for a 5k run around Tullamore. think I'm looking forward to it, Shannon. All the best with SquaredMap, though. Sounds like a great venture and plenty more to come. Thanks, Shannon.
So much, Ronan.
I don't know why I'm thanking you, and you're going to bring me on a 5k run in that weather and that wet out there. If only I could go somewhere really fun like Playtown Tullamore. It's just around the corner from us here, actually, in Tullamore, and it's a family business. And just last week, they received a major award at the National Family Business Awards. The family behind it are here very, very shortly.
Taking care of business with thanks to the local enterprise offices of Laois, Offaly and Westmeath. Find us on localenterprise.ie and let's talk business.
Yes, I apparently am going for a 5k run directly after the show with Shannon Kearney from SquaredMap. We'll see how that transpires. It's a bit wet, a bit damp out there. Frankie O'Reilly might help me out in this one. Maybe he might keep talking for a bit longer and maybe Shannon might disappear. Frankie is one of the family behind Playtown Tullamore, and they're celebrating another major national win after being recognised for delivering one of Ireland's top children's role-play experiences. The award caps off a year of upgrades and new additions for the popular family business. And I'm joined now by the team behind Playtown to talk about their success and what's coming next. So please welcome back to Taking Care of Business, Frankie, Sinead and Priya O'Reilly. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. How are you?
Congratulations, guys. A major national award at the Family Business Awards. You got Hospitality Business of the Year.
That's right. We're absolutely shocked and chuffed. We're
Well,
delighted.
It's a huge achievement as well. And I know other Midlands companies, Mercer Technologies got a bronze in Tech Family Business of the Year, and Topline Heavens Euronics got gold for Retail and Wholesale Family Business of the Year. So, I mean, great representation by the Midlands. But what was it like picking up that award?
It was absolutely huge. It was huge for us. As you said yourself, as a national award for little old us to be in the room with some of the biggest and best companies within Ireland, including significantly internationally trading companies, was an honour. Let alone to actually take home the overall gold award for hospitality. So we were absolutely delighted. And the publicity being nominated for and winning that we received from the likes of the Offaly Independent and yourselves here in Midlands 103 just shows how significant it is.
So clearly you're doing something very right there at the minute. Sinead, how did it feel when Playtown Tullamore was read out as the winner of the national award?
Oh, I couldn't believe it. It was brilliant. I was overwhelmed, actually. I couldn't believe it.
So, what do we think made the difference this year? Like, obviously, you don't get it for sitting still. Have you added new things you've developed? You're constantly trying to innovate anyway. I remember you had to plough and printing out tractor driving licences. They went down so well.
They went down very well. Yeah, no, we're always basically looking to how we can improve. We've had lots of cool additions over the last year to Playtown. For example, we've added a completely wraparound 3D effect supermarket aisles, bakery, fruit and veg section to our supermarket. With signage in both Irish and English. We've also incorporated a new post office within this play-themed area. We've also revamped our fire station to give the effect of being in an actual fire station. That's proving a huge hit. And we've also a brand new themed area, our spaceship, with the added cool effects of being in the cockpit or even watching an astronaut out working on the International Space Station, which is pretty cool. And also we've always kind of had local businesses in mind, so a proud addition to our Colton Motors Drive experience and our Tullamore Credit Union is our new Baby Moon Baby Nursery themed area with thanks to our friends Barry and Grace Mooney from Baby Moon Baby Shop. So we've been making lots of improvements over the year.
You still got the radio studio? Have you still got the radio studio?
We actually have incorporated it into our spaceship, believe it or not.
Cool,
so your actual mixing desk is now the full...
There you go, command and control. Wow, that's pretty cool as well. We'll come back now to the end of it, Frankie, because I know there's lots more happening there too, and you've upgraded your websites and all to really keep up to speed with customer demand. But somebody that's really bursting to get in the microphone here is Priya O'Reilly, and she's the third member of the family. And Priya, what was it like when you were announced? Were you at the awards last week?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, what was it like to hear your business called out as the winner?
Well, I was really happy because it was the first one that I was there to win a gold for.
Fantastic. Well, it's a big standard to uphold as well. Do you get involved with the business yourself?
Sometimes, yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
What do you enjoy most about it?
Well, I enjoy playing in most of the rooms in Playtown.
I suppose the key question is, do they let you have input into the design and what goes in next? Because you're at the age where you know exactly what people want.
Yeah, I think of some of the rooms for the Playtown areas.
Yeah. No, it sounds fun. I mean, anyone that ever passed there, you'll see cars parked outside, buses pulling up as well, schools, groups, community groups are a big part of your business too. The website upgrade though, you undertook that during the summer as well. That was a significant thing for the business.
That's right, that was huge. And that was with thanks as well to support from Falch Ireland's Just Transition Fund, along with their digital transformation programme. It's greatly assisted us with our brand new website, playtown.ie. So a lot of feedback in the past on our previous website would have been that it wouldn't have been doing justice to the experiences that are actually on offer. So our new website now is a lot more user-friendly. There's clear information on our play, party, school and group experiences. There's an excellent 24/7 booking system with Resgo that enables all of our bookings to be booked 24 hours a day. Helps us to control the numbers, to make sure that we don't overly fill the place, to make sure that everybody's experience and comfort and enjoyment is to the forefront of what we do.
And that's kind of bringing people to Playtown, is it? But you also get out and about as part of the business. You visit schools, and you're constantly on the move too.
That's right. Fair play to you. You know a lot about us. I'm very impressed, Ronan.
Well, I've seen you anywhere I go. I see you.
We turn up.
So, yeah.
We have our.
That's a compliment, by the way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. We have our Playtown School Edition, which is a mobile version of Playtown, which we roll out to schools, preschools, Montessori's, educational settings. So we've been rolling that out throughout the country. With excellent feedback so far. We're actually at the IPPN Principals Conference next week in Killarney to promote that further.
Oh, family holiday, is it, Priya? Yeah, working holiday. Yeah, that's it's funny. I know, as I said, it is a compliment because you're out and about, you're showcasing your business as well. We were saying, Sinead, is it about 8.5 years now?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, just before I started this show as well. So it's like we've had a shared journey over those 8 years. But I expect big plans anyway for the years ahead.
Absolutely. We have a lot of plans to, as I said, to roll out the Playtown School Edition more, to continue to listen to our guests, to continue to grow the business, to continue to add toys, add themed areas, revamp the areas that we have, to never stop.
So a sector that remains vibrant, you see huge opportunity, huge potential, because that whole sector kind of went through the mill there for a couple of years. There was so much talk about insurances and business costs and all that. You're seeing the future as very healthy looking.
Absolutely. I always remember a local businessman saying to me a few years ago when we were feeling like we were on our knees, and saying to me that it's all about looking at the potential, looking at the opportunities. So even when things are tough, to actually look at how you can tap into what people want more, or what is best for people. So yeah, there's never, we always try to look to the positive. Yeah,
and look at, as I say, clearly doing something right to pick up that award in the Family Business Awards, National Awards, is a huge achievement for any company, and especially a small family-run company here based in the heart of the Midlands as well. So the big question then, I suppose, to finish up, Priya, when do you become the boss? Or are you the boss already?
I kind of am the boss already.
Well, I noticed they weren't coming on tonight without you anyway, so, and of all the three of you, she's the one that's gunning to get onto the microphone there, so I think you get her onto that desk in the spaceship and get her working on radio. We'll get her in here eventually. Priya, Sinead and Frankie, thank you so much for that this evening, and congratulations again from all of us here in Midlands 103, and here's to the next 8.5 years. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. And that's really bringing me to a close for this evening. This evening's show will be podcasted from tomorrow morning. Just go to midlands103.com. It'll be on the podcast section. Surprise, surprise. And you can listen back to all this evening's interviews. You can hear from Dr. Alan Hore there about that SkillNet MMC event that's taking place in Portlaoise next Wednesday. Check them out there. It's in Procon Modular. Also, you can listen back to Shannon Kearney. They're talking about lean digitalisation and really how we can apply AI within our businesses and how to do it safely, which I suppose is something that maybe people think about, but really, are we actually doing enough in terms of being safe in how we administer and use AI? You also heard from Clare McGee there from the AwakenAngels, and if you're a female investor or somebody who wants to start investing in angels and female-led companies too, definitely get in touch there, because it sounds like it could be the place for you. Or if you are that startup that's looking for a bit of investment, just like BSL did those years ago, why not get in touch as well? That's it from me. Courtney Callahan is here next with Country Roads. I'm going for a 5k run.